1% successful grant writer and 10-year grant winner and small business development coach, Superior Shelby. I'm so blessed to have you on my live stream today. And today it's like Startup Saturday. In today's live stream, I want to reassure you on the steps you need to take to be starting a business. I also want to show you how you can win a grant, and we're going to go over some small business tea. Yes, tea. I know a lot of you all have heard of the Essence Festival, and I believe the Beauty Con just recently passed by, just this past week or so in the US. I want to talk about Juvia's Place, which is a very well-known beauty brand, specifically Black-owned, Black woman-owned company. And I want to talk about what the streets are saying about what happened at the Beauty Con. And I want to dive deeper on the business side of things. So come on in, friend. Same time today, we're having our usual small business conversation. We're talking all things grants, how to win them, how to get funding. And of course, I'm always giving you some sort of coaching, right? I want to hold you accountable. So this is a safe space that allows you to ask any questions about your challenges that you're actually going through in your business development process. I offer one-on-one consultations. That's $50. Super worth it. With my 10 years of expertise, I will provide you with an execution strategy and how to win grants. Okay, so make sure you like the live stream. That way, the YouTube algorithm can push this really good information out to all of the entrepreneurs who want to join the conversation and also who want to know as much as they can about grants. So, welcome into the live stream, everybody. Let's get started. I'm going to bring up my YouTube studio so I can see what y'all are doing. Okay, I got my grape juice. We are all ready to go. Okay, I'm powered up. Today is like Small Business Saturday. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. Small Business Saturday, which means I want to talk all things small business. And I also want to talk about like what we have actually went through this week. I think it's very important that maybe we should do this every Saturday where we specifically talk about small business startup opportunities, ideas, strategies. And also we need to have conversations about like, what have you actually done this week for your small business? I think it's a really good way to have like a safe space for accountability. So, and we always have like reoccurring people in our YouTube live streams. So I think it's really cool for us to be on here for free, on live, on YouTube. And we just hold each other accountable for those things that we said during the week that we need to get done. And when Saturday come, if it ain't done, then we need to make sure it's done by the end of next week. Okay. So I'm going to start and then you all can come in. And then we're also going to talk about what's going on with this whole Juvia's Place situation. I might just play like a small clip or a video of what I saw because I was like, what? Starting a business, you guys, is the easiest part. But moving forward and scaling your business to where you want it to be, that is where the actual journey starts. So the startup phases is usually when you are in your idea phases. It's when you are doing your business registration and the paperwork for it. It's when you are building a website, the branding. That's the fun part. But once you dive deep into the order of operations, your business workflow, hiring people, getting funding for supplies and equipment, it is not easy at all. But it's worth the journey because it allows you to experience true financial freedom. And that also, it's something that you are building for generational wealth, right? Exactly. So let's get into it. I won't have you guys for so long. I know it's early in the morning wherever you are in the US or in the UK. Okay, so I won't have you for too long and I'm not trying to keep you your entire Saturday. So let's jump right into it. So this week, what did I do? Some wins for this week. So I was able to actually, if you guys don't know, I am in Africa. And I'm helping different African governments, specifically working with like a really top bank here to help them develop their own grant programs that they can offer grants to other countries and other organizations, right? So I got some work done. I got some work done on that end. I developed the strategy. Now it's just all about focusing on how to get those sponsors and people who are willing to come in and, donate towards these grant programs that we are developing. So I got that done. I wrote like 5 business plans for my clients. We completed grants for over 7 people this week. And yeah, that's what I did this week. I also found some really new grants, some really cool new grants And I also took some time out to go through the Hello Skip platform this week. This week, I noticed that the grant search engines that I use, like grantwatch.com and Hello Skip, they're all updated. Yes, friend, they're updated. And I believe I remember telling you guys the other day or like earlier this week that every time I do a website, every 2 years, I update my website. I change the entire branding. And that's just something of preference. But it's really cool to see other business resource tools that we use do the same thing. Hello Skip has completely updated their entire app and their website dashboard. They have the public directory where we can list our businesses there and we can network with other businesses, friend. That's really cool. They also have a full dashboard specifically tailored towards grants and so many other business resource tools like writing your business plan, doing a one-on-one consultation, all kinds of cool stuff. So Hello Skip, shout out to them. Okay, shout out to Ryder, who is part owner of the Hello Skip franchise or nonprofit. And they are really doing some really big things. Okay, you guys can always download the Hello Skip app. Hello Skip is actually the top leading app that I would suggest if you are writing grants yourself. Like, I would use Hello Skip first before going to grantwatch.com or grants.gov. The reason being is because the Hello Skip app is very easy to comprehend and the questions are really direct. There's no, shade, gray areas around it. It's very direct. It also has artificial intelligence tools, so AI tools, to help you out with grammar to make sure your answer sounds polished, professional, and it's thorough. Okay. So I like Hello Skip because it's going to help you develop in your creative writing skills so you could be properly prepared for all of those other grants that you're going for. Okay, friend? So download Hello Skip. You can use my invite code Superior Shelby. That's Shelby with an IE at the end. One word altogether, and you'll have access to all of these grants and all of these business resource tools. And you can list your business for free in their public directory. I thought that was really cool. So another thing I noticed is that grantwatch.com has also updated their website as well. They have a new smart filter search engine that has more questions and more filters in place so you can best narrow down to the grant opportunity that serves in your favor. So let's say you are trying to start your own food truck in St. Louis. Well, you put in your city, state, and then you can also put in the filters that are tailored or targeted towards you. So if you're a woman-owned company, a Black-owned company, a veteran-owned company, right? And then what type of business industry you're getting into. It can be food and beverage or whatever have you. And then it will go ahead and use the smart filters to search for grants that serve in your favor. So grantwatch.com and Hello Skip, two really good search engines that I'm so happy that they are constantly upgrading and updating their website and their applications. Okay, so make sure you download Hello Skip, use my invite code Superior Shelby, and make sure you visit grantwatch.com. Okay, I can't wait until we have created so much more awareness around grants that there will be more grant searching programs and stuff. I know that Grant Watch does have grant writers that you can hire for, a very affordable price, but I'm not sure if they specifically work for small business owners. I know that they do it for sure for nonprofits. Okay. Okay, friend. Now, speaking of nonprofits, also this week with my consultations, I've had over 5 consultations this week, which I'm so proud to announce. And actually, 3 of them, you were, you joined in on our live stream. So earlier this week, you want to watch some of the replays. Okay, start at about 30 or 40 minutes in the live streams because we were actually having a live consultation with the clients that paid for my $50 one-on-ones. Yes, I asked them for, permission before I move forward, and they was all for it. So in these consultations, we had so many great storylines and so many different examples that will help motivate you to keep pushing. We had a mom who was a wife and she also has 4 kids, lost her job, but she's still persevering and she's finding really great creative ways. And we develop a strategy for her to be able to, sell dinners, sell plates, put the money into her business bank account. So that way, eventually she can have the money to go ahead and purchase her own food truck. We spoke with a woman who has been following me for a year And she owns her own juice bar, and she's now in a space or a spot where she needs some supplies and equipment in order for her to expand. Her expansion is very unique because her expansion is going to allow her to partner up with a food prep company, and also she's going to be able to produce her juices commercially, which will also allow her to generate the necessary revenue so she can open up her own location in a whole different city, which is about 4 hours away from her current spot. That's dope. Then we also had a consultation with someone who I think they're oh, you guys weren't part of this one. So they wanted to start an Airbnb. And so they asked me questions, and I'm so happy I brought this up and I remembered this one. So, for Airbnb businesses, if you want to get a grant for an Airbnb business, I'm here to tell you you're not going to find grants specifically towards you starting your own Airbnb. Getting into real estate, like doing fix and flips, doing short term and long term rentals, when you get into those industries, that is a you have to pay to play type of industry, friend. So when you're getting into the real estate game, you got to come ready with your own assets, good credit, and some money on the side for you to be able to actually invest. There's not really grants specifically for Airbnb or grants specifically for the real estate industry simply because it's one, it's a high earning industry, and two, it's not really community driven unless you decided that you actually want to use the grant money to develop an affordable housing program, right? So, say you want to do an affordable housing program specifically for persons who were recently incarcerated, or persons who are 55 and older, or persons who are like single parents, right? There you have it. Now we're doing something that's community driven. Grants are super community driven. They actually ask you on the grant applications, if you were to get, let's say, for example, this $100,000 grant opportunity, how will this drive impact towards your company and your clients? Right. So they ask questions like that. And because they're asking questions like that, that lets you know and reassures you that these grants are actually super community driven. So if you are in a real estate game and you are looking for grants to help you, get started with your fix and flip or your short-term rental, or you want to get into long-term rentals or do bed and breakfast like Airbnbs or so forth, then you have to go for those nationwide grants, like grants specifically for Black owned companies, grants specifically for Latino owned companies, grants specifically for veteran owned companies, grants specifically for women owned companies, right? You would have to go for those nationwide grants that are the way they choose a winner is actually more like a raffle. Right. So there's four different ways you can win a grant. I don't know if y'all know this, but one way is through like a raffle. So they would just randomly draw, and then they would pull your application and they would go through your application to see if you are the perfect candidate for that opportunity. The second way is like a pitch competition, which is kind of like Shark Tank. So that's where you are talking about your service and products, what's your customer base, what's your customer problem, what's the solution, and what are the numbers that you've already reached. The third way you can win a grant is through a first come, first serve basis. We see a lot of those first come, first serve basis type of grants that are provided through your state and local government. So, for example, if you're from my city, from Miami-Dade County, you might see a lot of $10,000 grants for Latino owned businesses in Miami-Dade County. And all you have to do is simply apply. Whoever apply first, they get a 10,000. Okay, that's how it works. So a lot of these are state and local funded. And then the fourth way you can win a grant is simply through a judgment. And I go over this in my YouTube playlist where I dive deeper into how to find out how this how this grant actually judges you. So a judgment is when they do like a point system. So each question might be 10 points, worth 10 points, totaling out to 100 points. So it determines on how polished, professional, and thorough you are on each question and each answer you provide. When they ask you, what is your business mission? Give them the business mission. When they ask you, what would you do with the money? Don't just say, I would use the money to start my trucking business. Don't say, I would use the money just to buy supplies and equipment. I'll also use the money for my marketing strategy. And I'll also use my money to, be able to open up my shop. No, you need to be thorough. Being thorough and being detailed means that you need to explain step by step in phases right? Or even give a timeline of how you would spend this money and how impactful it will be, right? So with us receiving, I'll give you an example. For example, with us receiving this $100,000 grant opportunity, we will break this money up in four different phases, totaling out to about $25,000 each that we would actually use this money for. The first phase, we would complete these key things: our marketing strategy, which should bring in this many clients. We would be able to hire two people, and we would be able to buy the supplies and equipment to be able to be more effective and efficient in our production, right? And so either that's like with you producing a product or doing a service, right? In phase two, we would do this. Overall, the $100,000 will be very impactful because we would have, by the end of phase four, we would have been able to hire over 10 people that's from our community, showing more commitment to our community. We would have been able to service this many people, but as long as our marketing strategy is on point. And we've also would have been able to create more awareness about our service and product, which essentially is our business mission. You see how that sounds? And now I just gave you a general answer. So you want your answer to be very detailed. You don't want to just be just like, you know what I mean? Just like straightforward, like no, because this is grant money. This is free money that you aggressively need. And not only do you aggressively need this free money that you don't have to pay back, that is no credit checks, and you don't even have to provide your bank account statements, no social security, no ID, or none of that stuff. Not only do you aggressively need this free money, but other people aggressively need this free money too, friend. And it's important for you to show up for your business. Show up and show out. Tell these people about the service and product that you have and how outstanding it is. How you are different from all top three of your competitors in your zip code, city, state, or your county. You understand? You are worthy and you truly deserve this grant money, but you're not going for it because you might have that mindset of, one, it's not worth my time. I'm going to tell you how it's worth your time, but just hold on for me. It's not worth my time. I don't think I have my stuff together for this grant. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm answering the questions right. Okay, let me reassure you, friend. Okay, you are totally worthy of free money. You just need to be properly, professionally set up. I always say having a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video will all be your best, like it'll properly prepare you for any funding opportunity. That goes for grants, loans. Sorry, y'all. Are we weak? Okay, yeah, we're reconnected. Sorry, y'all. My bad. You know I'm in Africa, sometimes. Sorry, excuse me. I'm in Africa, so sometimes my internet can be a bit like it can be switching. Okay, but I made sure I was on 5G. All right. So what I was saying was, you are totally worthy of it, and you're not wasting your time when you are applying to grants. Even though we're all applying to grant opportunities to be able to win the grand prize, sometimes when you are applying to the grant and you might not win the grand prize of $100,000 or $1 million, but they will still give you credits towards perks and deals that you would need anyway. If you stated in your answers that you want to use like $25,000 or $50,000 towards your marketing strategy, they might give you that $50,000 in Google ad credits. Wow. You know how good that is? $50,000 in Google ad credit. Please sign me up. $20,000 in Meta ad credit. Please sign me up. That means you will be running your ads will be running your ads, your ads will be running through social media like crazy all day. Every time somebody scroll, they seeing you, which will allow you to create awareness about your service and product, and people will shop with you. And people are scrolling through social media all day. You know what I'm saying? And then also with Google Ads is like top tier because not only can you use Google Ads specifically for your Google business profile, but also for YouTube. So you know how like, in the middle of my videos or any YouTube video you're watching and you'll see an ad, like a commercial or ad, or you might see one at the bottom that come up. It might not even be a full commercial or whatever case may be. That's you. You will be ad placement, friend. Okay. So if you would have never gotten that perk or deal, or even been able to be in that networking space to be able to speak to those high ticket clients or your next big customer, right? If you did not apply to that grant. So applying to the grant alone is not a waste of time. It comes with additional perks and deals. And in kind services, INKIND. That's what we call it in the grant world. In kind services, where they would give you one-on-one consultations with a high industry earning person. So that way you can speak to them and ask them, well, how did you get there? Because I'm trying to get there. Okay. So, but you would have never been able to have that opportunity if you didn't simply just apply. Okay. All right. So you got it. Cool. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you are getting into Airbnb, just circling back to what I was saying, if you're getting into Airbnb, you want to go for those nationwide grants. Okay. And those are like really the only grants that you can go for. I've been winning grants for 10 years. And to be honest with you, my entire entrepreneurship journey of 10 years has been nothing but an actual journey in a roller coaster for sure. And I'm pretty sure you guys hear a lot of small business development coaches or just coaches in general say this, but this is absolutely true. But I've been able to really push and persevere myself through my abusive relationship that I went through losing my baby through a miscarriage, through losing the love of my life, which is my grandma, who actually raised me to be the woman that I am today. Through all of those losses within a 3-year term, right? With all of those losses, I still persevered and I still kept going and I still kept pushing through. Now I'm in Africa doing some really big things in the grant, like still in my same industry. When other people said, ain't nobody finna go for grants, they don't believe it. Grants is a scam. Grants ain't no scam. I just won my client $100,000. I myself, I'm actually out here in Africa off of a $5 million grant from the US. Are you okay? If I can do this, and I've been dedicating 6 years on this YouTube to teach you all about what grants are and how to do this, take me as a physical example. This girl is a real life person. I'm not a person who's just sitting up here just lollygagging with you. I'm actually a real person explaining to you like perseverance and having the confidence and really operating off of faith, like just doing it. It really pays off. It truly does. I've been able to travel the entire world and I'm still traveling. And also, I met the love of my life. Now I'm getting married. You know what I mean? So be on your journey and keep moving forward. But if the more and more you keep putting off your small business and the more and more you keep not prioritizing it and going for these opportunities, I mean, friend, the game is free. The hustle sold separately, friend. You can sit up here and watch social media all day and live your life through social media all day. But guess what? The hustle is sold separately. You could wish you had the body of your life, but the hustle is sold separately, which means you got to hustle. You got to put some physical effort into it. You understand? All right, so let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning for you. It's good afternoon for me. Okay, so Bonafide says, I'm building a women-led housing and land stewardship project called MIDS through our nonprofit SWANS, which is Saving Wild Animals and Native Species. I'm going to need a grant specialist to hire on a contract basis. Grateful for all the grant wisdom you're sharing. What's the website you mentioned earlier that makes applying for grants easier? So it is Hello Skip. I like Hello Skip. I do contract basis, but we would just have to, you would have to book a one-on-one consultation with me so I can dive deeper into what the idea is and what the mission is. I do write grants for nonprofits. I've been able to win millions of dollars for not only just for-profit businesses, but nonprofits, churches, organizations, and now I'm developing grant programs for different African governments and countries, right? So I'm also on a mission to speak to all these big top billionaires to see if they are open. If you guys are watching, I hope you are open to donating to some of these amazing grant programs that I'm developing, with so that way other African governments and countries will be able to have the opportunity to develop an infrastructure. Okay. So yeah. How do you do consultations? Hey Momo, welcome in. So how do I do consultations or how do I perform? You understand? So if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, I have a dedicated website that I've had operated for years now. It's Supercharge My Business. Supercharge My Business. Supercharge My Business. Okay. The link is also in the description of this video. It's also in the description is the step-by-step on how you would actually book the $50 USD consultation. Okay. So that's how it works. And it's all virtual because I am international. So I only take virtual consultations. I don't take in persons unless I'm in the US. Okay. Congratulations, you found the love of your life. We're so happy for you. Thank you so much, Gary. Absolutely. He's a smart, handsome man. Hey Pamela, hey Monique. How are you all this morning for you, afternoon for me? All right, so those are like my small business wins. I've also been able to hold myself accountable on a lot of personal things, and I'm quite proud of myself. Like consistently praying every day and also listening to up to 1 hour, like, online sermons, like, or prayers, like joining a prayer or something like that, and just doing fellowship. So spiritually, I've actually been able to do that. I'm super, super excited. Can you please put your website in the chat? The website link, you won't be able to tap it, but I'll put it in the chat. It's easier if you actually do it, access it through the description. And how you get to the description is you tap on the title or tap on my face, and it should bring up description, and you tap on description. I think that's how it works. Okay. But I'll put the link here in the chat for you. I hope to see you and meet you soon, Momo. Okay. So Raphael says, thank you. I think you're saying thank you for what you do. Keep on getting what you do so you get where you are supposed to have. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I think I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. All right, so I don't know if you guys been seeing this, but Juvia's Place or Juvia's makeup, that thing, right? Monique says, I really need your help with writing for me. Book a consultation. The link is right there for you. Let's talk more about your business and let's talk more about the grants that are there for you. I do charge some money, less than $1,000, like my other peers, for grant writing. Also, I want to talk about that too a little bit. So we're going to talk about some business tea really quick, but the link is there in the chat for you, Monique, and it's $50. It's worth it. All right, so Juvia's Place. I don't know if you guys know about Juvia's. I think it's called Juvia's Place, which is the makeup brand. So just recently, there was like a beauty con or the Essence Festival situation that happened, and thousands, it looked like thousands, but it was hundreds of women was standing in long lines. I mean, hours and hours, waiting on Juvia's Place to fulfill their promise, which is giving them up to $200 boxes of free gifts and free makeup and stuff. And I think that I'm sorry, let me stick to the script. So I've actually seen a video earlier today. It's like a 10-minute video where a woman and multiple women were talking about how they feel like they got scammed and how this is a Nigerian-based business. And also it's funny how Nigerian based companies or Nigerian owned companies like to play the role of, oh, I'm a Black owned company or I'm a Black woman owned company, when really they're Nigerian owned and they treat the Black American women or Black American consumers like they don't really care too much about us. It's just really that. I want to say something about that type of tea. Y'all might see more of this tea later. Okay. Being in a beauty industry for sure is not easy as a Black business owner for sure. Okay. We've actually seen this a lot. And the top beauty brands are actually white owned, or they have a lot of investors who are white as well. So keep that in mind. Now, this lovely woman, all right, she's a Nigerian woman. One thing I can honestly say is that I've never seen none of her products here in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, so I go to the beauty shops and the beauty places to like go buy makeup and stuff to see what they have, even something as simple as mascara, and I don't see none of her stuff here. So clearly, her target audience and her target market is America or the UK, like anywhere outside of Nigeria. So I thought that was quite interesting. So me and my fiance, we were talking about it, and he said, you know what? A lot of us, he said, you should tell your audience this. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And I totally agree with him. And we both were in agreement of this. You have some people out here that literally just build businesses for the opportunity of money, especially if you come from nothing. You understand? And some people are willing to do whatever it takes to be able to hold on to that lifestyle that they dreamed of. And that is exactly what Juvia's Place is giving. It's giving that I really never cared about y'all. And I have all of these investors, and I allow the investors to tell me what to do with the branding and everything for this. Matter of fact, the way that I got these investors was not ethical. Okay. And so the only reason why I started this is simply because I'm a Nigerian woman. I got the connections. I like being beautiful. And so I just wanted to be able to make money. And branding is everything. So she came in. Juvia's Place actually started at a time where branding, like business branding, was such like it was a pinnacle. It was like as long as you had a good logo and you like was able to get your product in front of all of these social media, like these high, like really well-known social media people, right? Like India Love and Rachel and all these people that do like, makeup and all that stuff, right? What's the other? I can't think of the other Nigerian woman. She's like very well known too. But like if you were able to get your product in front of those people, like literally it would sell. And she came in at that time, and that's the exact strategy that she did. You understand? So from the jump, this was never about having a really good product. Because personally, if we're talking about a good makeup product that has no issues with skin tones or anything like that, it would be Fenty Beauty. Period. Fenty Beauty, Fenty Beauty. You understand? But um she came at a point where it was like all you need to do was do this whole play, this whole marketing play. If you do this marketing play, you would make millions of dollars. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. And from me understanding that, and this is my perspective of it, right? I don't own any Juvia's Place products or anything like that. Like I said, I like Fenty Beauty, or I'll stick to the old school, which would be like MAC and Sephora products, right? But um definitely giving opportunists, definitely giving opportunists. And to be honest with you, if somebody came and bought Juvia's Place, if they haven't already, tomorrow, like if CoverGirl was like, all right, give it up. If Maybelline was like, all right, give it up, we're gonna give you this amount of money, sis would definitely sell it. Because the business was, the purpose of it was to be built to be sold. It was never built to build some sort of makeup legacy. You understand? A makeup legacy is Fenty Beauty. That's a makeup legacy. Adding more colors and more tones to it. Adding like more like different products that have like liquid and matte and like that goes with different types of skin types, and even adding in like sunscreen into the foundation. So like that is a Fenty Beauty is well thought out. And Fenty Beauty is like, even though it is like owned by Rihanna or whatever have you, it's just like you look at Fenty Beauty and see like how serious she is about this development of that particular makeup brand versus Juvia's Place, where it was like, okay, we're gonna put these African tribal things on there because we know the black girl's gonna eat it up, and it's all about branding. So we're gonna have all the black makeup artists that's well known on social media. They're gonna put it out there, and boom, we're gonna become millionaires. Millionaires in USD is billions of naira in Nigerian money. Okay, so if you are a billionaire in naira, you have high status. You are with all of these people. You live in a nice mansion. You have a really, really, really queen and king like lifestyle. Seriously. So the opportunity was there. Sis had the connections. If you met somebody in Dubai, I'm not saying this was what she went through, but if you met somebody in Dubai who just so happened to be fond of you and you was beautiful and this and that, and they said, Habibi, I'll do whatever for you, this and that, you was like, well, I like makeup, so let me start my own makeup line. Give me like, give me a $500,000. Give me 200K. I'll make this shake. She made the 200K shake. You understand? So it's an opportunity. And judging by how her fan base and her client base and her customers was treated at the beauty con, when they were truly expecting to be welcomed with open arms, but instead they were in long lines. They were lied to the entire time. You have people that said they kept telling us to come back over and over again, come the next hour, come the next hour, come the next hour. You have people that was standing in that line, that long line for hours. We're talking about 3 hours plus, and they still didn't get a box. And the ones who did get a box, thank you for saying that, 7 star. He said, I seen those bags. They had barely nothing in them. Exactly. And it doesn't look like $200 worth of product. So the lie that was advertised for BeautyCon is the scam. And I watched a video where there was a woman, a spokeswoman, she was there and she was like, this is a black owned company. Everybody's like, woo, and it's a woman owned company. But in all reality, nobody cares about that. And there's a difference between being a Black American owned company versus a Nigerian owned company. And I love my Nigerians. I love you guys. I love all people, right? All ethnic groups. I'm not racist at all. But when it comes down to my people, Black Americans, yeah, hold on. That's where we're gonna draw the line. We're gonna draw the line, okay? We're gonna draw the line. You are a Nigerian-owned company. We are Black-owned companies. We have went from different names, from the N-word to Negro, now to Black. You understand? And now we're Black American. And I like Black American better. It just sounds more like just less, hurtful. But we've really earned this title for real because we was called monkeys. We was called so much. So that title, Black owned company, is not just about your skin. When you call yourself a Black owned company in the US, that means you are a Black American owned company, not just because of your skin. Latinos don't say, oh, I'm a brown owned company. No, Latino based company, Latino owned company. You understand? Asian American owned company or Asian owned company. That's what they say. Native American owned company. Black is our ethnic group, babe. You can't just be screaming that because you simply want us to continue to be the consumers, to eat up your juvia's place of your product. And it's unethical. And it's giving scam. And it's giving you really don't care about your customers at all. So I totally agree with those. All of the women who felt like they got finessed, who felt like they got scammed, who felt like they stood in those lines. I'm so sorry. Like they stood in those lines for a long time because they simply wanted to continue to support this Black woman owned company. When really this is a Nigerian woman owned company. And I mean, I know a thing or two about some Nigerians from different tribes. And if she's from a specific tribe, it would definitely make sense. So, respectfully speaking, I'm cleaning my hands from this. Okay? Juvia's Place ain't gonna get none of my money. None of my money. 50 Beauty all day. Okay. I've been a Rihanna fan since Ella. Okay. Shine bright like a diamond over here. Okay. I've been a Rihanna fan forever. Okay. So I'll stick to on the good side. You understand? But yeah, I think the woman was saying in the video that really struck me was like, she was saying, y'all is real interesting when it comes to when y'all want to sell something to us that you are a Black owned company, you are this and you are this type of company to try to relate to us. But then when we get on social media and you have an issue with us, then it's like, oh, those Black Americans are this and those Black Americans are that. And you are so against us. And it's so interesting how we can come together simply for your own benefit. But when it actually comes a time to bridge that gap and come together so we as Black Americans can learn more about African culture and learn about where we come from, it's like we get shut down. Like we get shut down. We ain't worth it. We need to go back over there and pick cotton. Like I've seen the comments. It gets really, really nasty. Really nasty. So I just wanted to talk briefly about that. Just on the business side, just on the business side, I definitely think it was very unethical to have your people out there and not being properly prepared for such a big conference like BeautyCon or Essence Festival. You should have been more prepared. You're I think up to $100 million USD company. Pretty sure, like just by the size of your entire vendor booth or venue, you could have afforded to do a lot more and even physically show up and be there. And it's just the audacity of it all. And so now we feel like, yeah, don't even worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And if it ain't one thing I know about black folks, my people, when we boycott, we're serious. Ain't been to Target since. Target is crying. Target is crying right now. Target has been crying. And Target has been crying. I forgot I had my grape juice. hmm So you don't want to. And then, mind you, like I said, she doesn't sell her product in Nigeria. She doesn't sell her product in Nigeria. So that goes to tell you, are you really for, like, you're not even for your own people? Like, not to sell your product in Nigeria because you feel like you're not going to get the value of it. These Nigerians, they're not going to pay hundreds of thousand naira for one eyeshadow palette, but the Americans are. So with that being said, you are going to do your best marketing wise and brand wise to pretty much push it out to. And one thing I know about us as Black Americans, we love everything that has to do with Africa because it makes us feel like at home. If and I'm doing it now, right? I'm producing them now. But ladies, the boo-boo gowns, right? The long gowns that you be seeing me wear sometimes. Okay, those long gowns, right? Anything from Africa, it gets sold, especially to the Black American consumers, right? So she understands that logic. You understand? It was an opportunity. She took the opportunity. Now you girl living large. She don't care if somebody come in and buy this company and it fails the next day. Like she got her G wagon. She got her circle of friends. She got her mansion. You understand? She's fine. And all she wanted was just that lifestyle that she never had growing up. That's it. And it was a finesse and it's a play. So not a genuine business. I like shopping with genuine businesses, and how you know that is knowing the owner and knowing how the owner speaks so confidently about their products and services. You understand? And how they're consistently mission driven. I'm very adamant about watching interviews with different like people who own the products and understanding if they say the mission that they have is still the same mission and still the same. Consistency is key for me. If get inconsistent, I'm like, opportunity. It's like Donald Trump, right? On the business side of him, he's inconsistent in every conversation he has on any interview. And it all depends on the conversation with him. Why? Because originally a salesman. He's into real estate. So I'm going to say something that's going to please you so I can catch this sale, so I can get my mission done. And the whole mission is to buy this building and to resell it, or to buy this building and to turn it into Trump Towers or whatever have you. That's an opportunist, and that's just simply a person who just loves money. Never really cares about the people. It's not really community driven at all. Me, I'm more community driven, which is why I do what I do, which is creating awareness about grants and offering the done for you service for you. So because I'm like that, I only want to shop with individuals that are like that the same, not the ones who are just simply going for money. And you can tell when you're just simply going for money because it shows. It shows in your products, it shows in your service, it shows in how you show up for yourself on the internet. It shows how you show up for yourself in these consultations. It shows. What questions we got? I got like 15 minutes left with y'all, and then I have to get on a one-on-one consultation. Uh, not is just oh, what did I talk about? Thank you, Marlo. Uh, Listen, I live in Africa. I don't have to match. I got green pants on, but I'm not really a person that matches. I think that's fashion. The cool thing about fashion is that you don't have to match. You just wear whatever you want to wear, however you feel it. And I feel like wearing my LV hat. And this shirt is actually my grandmother who passed away. This is her shirt. And I saw this. I remember that we both bought this same shirt, but I lost mine. So once I found this shirt, it reminded me of the cruise that we took. So I wore this shirt. So my outfit, it gives like, it's more of a creative expression. It's not about matching. Louis Vuitton, right? Louis Vuitton hat because I work hard for my designer. I work hard to think like money. So that's what we got the hat on for. Shirt because this blouse is my grandma's and it really does mean something to me. So when I wear it, I just feel like, so comfortable and so like at ease. And it's Saturday. And then the pants I have on, which is just some green satin pants, it just goes with the shirt. Okay. Um, no one really showed up at Essence Festival. It may already be in trouble. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I saw that too. I've been seeing some of those. And I don't know if you guys know about some of these like I usually go to like Invest Fest, right? And I think some of you all have actually met me physically in person at a few Invest Fest conferences. If you don't know about Invest Fest, it's a conference that is curated by Earn Your Leisure. And Earn Your Leisure is a podcast that you can watch here on YouTube that teaches all of us financial freedom, and they have some really great conversations. And I love their Market Mondays because that's when they dive deeper into like different markets, specifically talking about stock markets that we should be investing in and what's going on. So I've been a like Earn Your Leisure earner. I used to be one when they first came out, and I really liked their entire program. So I think that I've asked some of my friends that I've actually met there that we're still friends to this day of about 3 or 4 years. And I'm like, hey, are you going to Invest Fest? And a lot of them are like, no. Like a lot of them are actually saying that they are kind of done with the whole conference thing. And I think it's really interesting. I feel like we're in a space now where the conferences and the women brunches and all that stuff, I think we're in a space now where we just want that one-on-one time and we just want direct information. And what can you do for me? Like what can you do for me? Help me directly because I don't want fellowship. I want the actual execution strategy on how to get myself to the next level. I don't want to hear all this fluff. I don't want to have to go through a 6 week like a 3 to 6 week what is it webinar, right? And then we join weekly classes. Like I think people are at a point where they're like, listen, if you can't help me directly and if you're not willing to help me at an affordable price and willing to give quality time with me, then I pass. And I think that that's a very interesting time that we're going into, and I'm all here for it. That's what I've been on the entire time, providing quality time with you all, which is in the next 10 minutes. I have to provide my quality time, right? But providing quality time with you and truly listening to what your business challenges are so that way we can take it to the next level, right? So I think that we're at a point now that we want to do that. And I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. If I get too busy, too booked, then I'll train somebody who can have the same, like, we'll have the same exact, we'll be neck and neck. You know what I mean? Might not be me, but it'll be someone that is just as good as me that I trust. And then you can have a consultation with them too, right? So, but I haven't scaled to that point yet. I haven't been able to get to that point yet. I think that I personally like taking the consultations. I really do. And I just like having these conversations with you guys. And it makes it more personable when we're completing the grants for you. So, yeah. Yep. All right. So, last 10 minutes. What have you done? What have you done for your business? What's going on with your business, friend? I want you to drop it in the chat. What are your challenges? What questions do you have? I want to know.
Anthony says, can retailers or resellers get grants? Depends on what your mission is, right? So you do have resellers that, like, let's say for example, you're into art and your art is like you're buying or reselling art, then you can do that, right? That's an art grant, totally different situation, totally different situation. I'm not hip on art grant, but you can do that. If you are doing something like you are buying shoes and reselling shoes, then I found it very hard to get grants for you guys. You would still, because that's also another thing where you have to like pay to play type of thing. So yeah, they don't really, and it's not community driven. Like if you buy these off-white limited edition LV shoes, right? And you want to resell them. Well, how is that going to help somebody that's in need, who is homeless and who has been wearing the same shoes for the last 5 years and now they are torn up? So, what is the mission of what you're doing, right? So, if you decide to say, I'm a retailer, reseller, and what we do is we buy shoes, we buy um, these shoes and we resell them, and a percentage of our income goes towards our nonprofit actually helps clothe those who are less fortunate, right? We provide clothes and we donate clothes to children from an urban area or undeserved or less fortunate area. We do that, right? So if you do something like that, then yeah. Is it harder to get a grant if I'm just starting my business? DOC, welcome into the chat. DOC Will, I want to say thank you so much for joining. And no, actually, it's quite easy. The startup phases of your business is the most happiest time, I can be honest with you, because it's when you have like all of these great ideas, and all you have to do is simply express those ideas on your grant application. There's tons of startup grants specifically for you to be able to start your business, even if you haven't made any income or generated any income inside of your business. So I think that you are in a perfect place in your startup phases to actually go for these grants. Now, the key to this is you want to professionally deliver exactly what you will do with the money. So, say you're starting your own business and you might need $50,000 right now to get started, buying supplies and equipment, hiring somebody, and simply doing your marketing strategy and creating awareness about your service and product. Well, friend, you can definitely get a $50,000 grant or millions of dollars in grants for your startup, but it's all about how you deliver what the ultimate mission is. You understand? So, you want to say something like, give us the phases, right? What are the phases that this money will be able to be effective and impactful towards? And that's where having a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video all come into play. I have a dedicated playlist on my YouTube channel with about 5 videos. They're 6 to 10 minutes each. And each video is going to help you understand the world of grants, how to search and apply to grants, what are the websites that I use to find grants, how to be properly prepared for grants, and so much more. The last video in that playlist, the playlist is called Grant Masterclass. The last video in that playlist, I show you 4 winners. 2 out of the 4 winners are my actual clients still to this day. So you know, I'm offering that. It's all free game, but the hustle is sold separately, friends. So you still got to, put in the work of actually developing your business plan, your pitch deck, and your 3-minute pitch video. And if you want to know more about what those are and what they should look like, definitely refer to those videos that I talked about in that playlist. Once we are all done in about 5 minutes, we'll be done with this live stream. Okay, what other questions do y'all have? Where to find the course building info you dropped for Etsy? I couldn't find it. What do you mean? Like how to build a course? I don't know what you mean. I don't have a course on like how to start an Etsy or anything like that. That's not my thing. Now you got all these. There's free YouTube videos on how to start an Etsy, how to get into e-commerce, but I don't know. I don't know what course, where to find the course building info you dropped for Etsy. I couldn't find it. I don't understand. I don't know. I think I need a little bit more information of what you're saying. Hmm. All right. So, what other questions do y'all have? Go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. Any questions? It is Startup Small Business Saturday. I hope you guys had a really productive week. My week was super productive. I had some great conversations with amazing startups and small business owners, people who are scaling their businesses. Yesterday, we had a really good conversation about, the different mindsets, right? From client A to client B. Remember, we talked about that exercise and about how they both have the same exact cleaning business, and I gave them both the same strategy, but one is a little bit slower, which is client A, and client B is pushing through. Well, client B secured a new client, right? She was actually joining us on that live stream, which is really cool. So she secured a new client. So shout out to you, my good friend. And yes, we'll be speaking soon on another consultation. Um, Hi, hey KAT or Cat. Hi, and thank you for your tips. Are there grants for e-commerce? So Amazon gives out a $10,000 grant every month if you have an Amazon store. Etsy gives out a up to $5,000 grant every month as well if you have went through any type of business or weather disaster. So those are two e-commerce platforms that I know for a fact that they actually give grants specifically to persons who actually have a e-commerce store with them. So if you have an Amazon store, you can go for the Amazon Small Business $10,000 grant. And then they have one also specifically for Amazon Black Business grant. Remember, you have to have a Amazon store because you do have to put in your Amazon store number, account number inside of the application. Same thing with Etsy. If you have went through a weather disaster or any type of economic disaster with your business, you can get anywhere between $2,500 up to $5,000 with the Etsy grants. So those are the only two that I know off the top of my head. But yeah, you can get a grant for your e-commerce store. It's all about the business mission, right? So if you are very mission driven, and I want to say this as well. Say you are an e-commerce store and you want to go for, let's say, a $50,000 grant for all women-owned businesses, right? And so you're an e-commerce store. You're like, heck yeah, $50,000. I can use this 50K to be able to buy more cloth, more supplies and equipment, so I can produce more, or I can be able to use that money to buy more items to put on Amazon, and I can do Amazon ads, and I can do all of this stuff, right? Now, it's your e-commerce business versus all of these other businesses that might be much more mission and service based driven, right? So you might be in competition with a woman who has created her own, let's say, beauty or skincare line that helps out with eczema, and it helps out with, other skin conditions that you might be going through, or they might be going through, right? So it's your e-commerce store versus their product, right? Most likely their product is going to win because it's more community driven. It's something that if they use the $50,000, they would actually be able to produce more of this cream or these body washes to be able to help those who actually suffer from a physical skin condition. You understand? Versus your e-commerce store, it's just all about money and cash flow with you. It's not really super mission driven. It's not like you're using the money to be able to help persons who are suffering from homelessness or help domestic violence individuals, unless you create your own separate nonprofit and you put a percentage of the proceeds into that. Now, then you would use your nonprofit to apply to those grants. But if you're just simply an e-commerce store, just wanted to generate money, generate cash flow, just for you to be able to have money so you can buy you a Benz, then listen, grants, just be mindful of how you deliver and who you're going to be going against. Okay. You would go for more of those nationwide grants. So aside from the two that I gave you, which is the Amazon grant and the Etsy grant, you will be going for more of those grants specifically for, let's say, veteran owned companies, grants for women owned companies, grants for Black owned companies, grants, for a specific area. Right. And so keep in mind that your competition is very robust, right? You don't know who you're competing against, but you can always give it a try. Okay. Cool. Last question, or last two questions. Does the name of your business have any effect on approval or disapproval of grants? No. For example, King of Kings Construction. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They are not judging you. Okay. They're not judging you. You have a vegan like restaurant called Slutty Vegan. You think she hasn't won grants and she got investors, millions of dollars in investing, and her name is Slutty Vegan. The name doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. Living life with the Barons. Good morning. Is it easier to get grants to build a building for a nonprofit or buy a building? Thanks. So, yeah, you can get a grant for your nonprofit. Nonprofits do have the ability to get grants for if you're developing a building for a cause. So, absolutely, you can do it. Understood and thank you. I was not aware Amazon was giving out grants on a monthly basis. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, you all. So I'm going to get right into my Zoom call. I really do appreciate you all for joining me on this beautiful Saturday. We've been on here for an hour. Book a one-on-one consultation with me so you can pick my brain and we can develop strategies together. Okay. I can tell you more about grants that serves in your favor. The link in everything that you need is in the description below. And I will see you guys on Monday. You know, Sundays is the day I praise and worship. Okay, so I will see you all on Monday, same time on Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, in progress. I love you guys. Peace and blessings, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Okay, friend. All right, peace.